Uh,
Hold on.
hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, my the voice connected thing is just going in and out. I don't know why.
Oh, it's not me, is it?
No, I think it was me.
All
It's
right,
good now.
cool.
Didn't think I was gonna get a spot in here.
I'm trying to actually join a couple other servers so that I can get a Zoom channel and everybody
I'll
can
just kind
join
of
that.
do everybody all at once. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense. Kill a couple of birds with one stone.
this this dude is DMing me. I'm like, I'm on some other server that is like not one that I'm paying or anything like that. It's just another trade server. This guy messaged me and he's like, "Hey, so I guess you're into financial markets." I said, "What gave that away?"
Is he trying to sell you something or no?
Probably, man, probably.
I got one of those spam because I have a for Instagram. I do a separate one for like all the trading and investing shit. And I get the ones there's like guaranteed 3,000% returns every day, and I'm like, what the? I'm like, yeah, sure. Just send us money and we'll do it for you. We'll never see you again.
Well, do you for you.
Yeah.
Hey, have you looked into crypto at all?
Yeah. So I put a little bit into that new bootleg, coin, the Shibu, whatever.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I'm still holding a lot of stuff from the 2017-18 spike. I have also lost a couple of passwords for wallets um, that I can't get back into, and it's just impossible to hack those. But I'm holding um, Cardano, IOTA, XRP, so Ripple, Stellar, and then Tron. Tron was from like the original, but this new one just came out that the kid Josh is pushing too, Sola or something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
Solana. Yeah.
Yeah, which I read up on them. So I mean, they're trying to do 50,000 transactions per second, which is no other coin or any other blockchain can do that fast at least.
Right. I didn't think Visa
So
and MasterCard and all them can do it either.
no, not that fast. And I think what's going to happen is a lot of these. I mean, a lot of these financial institutions are buying into it slowly, just because they know that this is going to move. They're either A, not disclosing it. I mean, like if they're publicly traded, they kind of have to disclose it in their financial statements unless they hide it somewhere. But on Coinbase, I've been doing a lot of those like free education stuff, and then I just, like I was saying last week, I just take that and convert it into, like something that's kind of popping. Because that one coin, let's see, something Solana, it's up like fucking crazy.
Yeah, I bought it at like 160.
It's 204.
Yeah, I think it'll drop some more. Like, so I think it's let
It's
me
at
take a
highs right now.
I think the high is like 215, 210, 215.
250 at 214.96, and it looks like it might hit that. Usually Sundays are like sell-off days for crypto.
Yeah, because people like trading it on the weekend, and then Monday is like, all right, let's get back to the regular stocks.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
yeah. I mean, usually 5-7% drop on everything like Saturday, Sunday night, and then Monday morning usually shoots back up.
Yeah, I think we'll see it probably hit 184, maybe 176. if
Which
I'm
one are you
lucky.
looking at?
Solana.
Oh, yeah, I
Um,
decided not to get in there. I'm just gonna stick with my SHIB.
oh, the
I got
Shiba
a
Inu.
whole. I had like $9, and then I got the alert. It was up 50%, so I was gonna sell, and I was like, nah, it was free money. Let me ride this shit out.
Right. Yeah, I'm holding. I just posted in the other uh room there or whatever. But yeah, I'm holding. I'm gonna hold SHIB until it reaches $1. I think it has the potential to do so with everything they're working on.
Really?
But I mean, this is obviously, again, this is just my opinion. But I mean, it's not going to reach that anytime soon. It's definitely, if it ever would reach $1, it's going to be like at least like 5, 10 years. Because they have to, they have to do. It's like at its infancy stage. So I feel like it's like buying Bitcoin when Bitcoin was 6 cents a piece. Um,
I don't think it'll
so
take
yeah,
that
a
long.
lot of. Huh?
I don't think it'll take that long to reach a
Probably
dollar.
not with what they're with what they're doing right now, and with them launching the the burn strategy that they have. Um, I think it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take that long.
Burn
Um,
strategy, as in when somebody tries to dump it, it gets rid of the coin, deflates it. Is that what you mean?
yeah. So when they burn coins, obviously it takes it out of circulation or whatever. But because Shiba token is there's 1 quadrillion Shiba token right now, and 500 trillion of that is in circulation
Jeez.
at the moment. But in order for it to even reach a penny, like if it were to reach a penny, that would mean its market cap is like $47 billion, which is, or no, $47 trillion, which is like more than all the money in the world combined. So it's not going to happen with that many coins in circulation. So they had to figure out a way to burn them over time to keep it stable. Um, So one of their strategies is basically every time it like starts to fall significantly, they're gonna burn some. That was one strategy they had, and then this other one that they launched recently was that they launched their NFT, and they only made 10,000 of them at that particular time. So they opened it up for sale, and in order to buy one, you had to pay $100, but you had to pay in Shiba token. And then once you did that, those tokens were going into a burn wallet. So with 10,000 of those NFTs, they could burn, what is it? 30, like, cause $100 is at the time was like 3.5 million. So 10,000 is like 35 trillion or something like that. Shiba token. And what's crazy is when they launched it like 2 weeks ago on like a Thursday, and they sold out of the NFTs in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was reading into that NFT stuff, man. That's like some real futuristic type stuff. Like, have you ever guys seen that movie, Real Player One or Ready
Yeah,
Player One or something like that? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what NFTs are gearing towards.
yeah, yeah. So I'm long, long on Shiba token. I bought it when it was I bought 10 million at for like $140, and then of course like a month after that it dropped. But I've just been holding it. Like, what's $150, you know?
Right.
So I'm just gonna hold it forever because like I don't I don't need $150 right now. I'm okay with that and see what happens. And I mean, like I said, if it hits $1, I made 10 million. So
Right. Yeah, that's. I was thinking about doing that too, man, because I saw the price and I'm like, shit. And for this price, I could dump $100 into it and I'd be
Right.
stupid rich if it
Yeah.
jumped.
They did some crazy calculation. Like if you had dropped $1,000 into Shiba token this time last year, and just held it until now, you'd be sitting on like $200 million or something like that.
That's insane. But how do you? I mean, I guess if you try to sell it and it fills your order and then it just kind of goes into space, it burns, right?
No, they don't. No, if you sell it right now, it wouldn't. It doesn't burn it. They have to. That's why they had to come out with that other strategy. Like you buy when you so what, right when you buy the NFT, um, because you're buying it with Shiba token, it's got to go like into some account, right? And so that account was a
A burn
what
account.
are they? Yeah, burn wallet or whatever.
So it's almost like going back to the creators, and they know that they're going to do that.
Right. It's like some sort of wallet that like nobody can access and nothing like it just nothing can access it or whatever. I'm not, they say burn it, but like I'm pretty sure it's like not like it just disappears. They didn't just like delete it. You know what I mean? It goes into some account that just nobody ever can have access to or something like that.
So that's the one thing I like about Solana is whenever somebody tries to flood the market with the coins, it will burn them right off the market. So
Oh,
it
okay.
keeps it deflated. And because you know that Josh got me into it too, and I started researching. I mean, you know, I don't just jump into something without educating
Right.
myself. And I looked into it, and I thought, wow, that's actually it's everything Bitcoin wishes it was. And
Yeah.
when people try to you know what do you call it, manipulate that particular type of coin and just dump a bunch on the market, the algorithm itself will automatically chop it up and
Yeah,
delete
and I
it.
think that's what they're trying to gear for Shiba token as well, because they know that's what's going to come down the road. Is people are going to when it reaches a certain point, like if it does reach a penny, a lot of people are going to sell, and then that'll make it tank. And they don't want it to do that. They want it to be a viable currency in the future. Like originally, yeah,
Right.
Shiba token started off as a meme token, 100%. And then when they got this social media following, they were like, you know what, this really could be something. And they're so against, like, the whole point of the token is to like decentralize the currency, not have it basically based on any other currency the way that like our actual currency right now is.
Right.
Um, because like at one time the US dollar was based off of gold. And then I don't remember who did it, but like
Nixon.
now it's not based off that way.
Nixon took it off
Not
gold
not
standard.
even not even close. Well,
So,
if they would have kept the gold, would have been astronomically expensive.
right.
I don't even know if we got gold anymore. It's probably all
We
gold
do.
plated rust and copper. Because I mean, like the all the central banks and the Federal Reserve and whatever banks are associated with them, they hold bullion from other countries in the world. And
Right.
years ago, I think maybe 5 or 6 years ago, Germany called back its gold, and the bank of, I think it was in New York. There's a federal bank in New York that was holding it, and they told them, well, we can't give it all to you right now. We don't have it, so we're gonna have to give you portions of it as we get it. So
Right.
that to me says it's like derivatives where you put money in the bank and the banking goes and loans it and gives it to somebody else or invests it here or does something else with it. They don't just hold it. That's exactly what they're
Right.
doing with the gold. So to
Yep.
me, it's like they don't even have any. They got to wait till somebody deposits some and then they say, "Oh, here you go, Germany. Here's
Yeah.
10 ounces."
That's nuts, man.
So it makes me wonder, like, because um, Ron Paul, when he was running or still a congressman, he was trying hard to get the audit on the federal or on Fort Knox, and or really just the Federal Reserve itself and the gold holdings, and it never got anywhere because the Federal Reserve don't have any. I mean, if they had
Yeah,
something, they got
they're
nothing
like,
to
we
hide.
can't let this happen. We can't let this happen.
I mean, that would make everything go crazy if it was true and everybody found out that the U.S. government doesn't hold whatever tonnage that it is supposedly. I think
Right,
it's what 21,000 tons or some shit like that.
right.
So if it turns out that we don't actually have any, imagine what the U.S. dollar would do. I mean, even though it's not backed by the dollar or backing the dollar, it would still have a massive effect on the.
Man, it would like turn into like a yen, bro.
Hmm. I mean, it'd be. It's all about people's belief in the system, and
Right.
if that turns out that we don't have any gold, that trust in the system is gone.
Yeah. And that's, I think, that's part of the reason why, I really can get behind the Shiba token. And it sounds like I probably should get behind Solar too, but um, you know, their whole idea of decentralizing it and taking it away from, you know, bank owned, government owned things is why I'm behind it because like, just like everything else, when it's government owned or bank owned, it kind of just goes to shit because
Right.
they're only worried about making money for themselves. They're not trying to help anybody else out.
Oh, come on, the common good. They're trying to do good for everybody. They have
Yeah.
everybody's best interest.
Right.
Everybody that's part of their
And
group.
100%.
we just
Yeah,
got to get there too.
that's why I like Solana too. I mean, it's that whole decentralized thing too, and there's just like out of all the crypto out there, from what I've researched, and I haven't researched everything because there's a crap ton, but all
Right.
the main players and all the ones that are kind of on mainstream, Solana to me seems like the best one because of the transactions, the low gas fees, the decentralization, the burning of the coin when they try to inflate it, they actually
Right.
deflate it, so it actually make the
Right.
price rise. So I mean, I like the way that sounds, and
Um, how many is there is so I guess my question, because I don't know that much about that one. So how is there a finite number of that coin?
I don't think so. Um, I know. So just the past few days when I was researching, I found there's about 300 million worth in circulation.
Okay. That's
So
pretty good for now. Yeah,
and
that's
and out of the 300 million, um, the estimated long position of people that are just sitting on it is about 150 million. So 50%
okay.
basically, and to me
Right.
that's massive when you think about long-term price action.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, that's the same thing like with Shiba token. That's kind of what I was saying. It's like there's 1 quadrillion out there, but only like half of that is what's able really to like be traded.
Right.
And it's something like 75%, or it might be somewhere between 50 and 75% is like actually held right now.
Yeah, I saw what got me looking into Shiba Inu was you ever heard of Robert Kiyosaki?
No.
He's the rich dad, poor dad guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I saw him talking about that's going to be a big thing, and we should get into it, and it's stupid cheap, and $100 would make you rich. Kind of like you were saying, $100 would make you rich. yeah, 10 million or whatever the number was. So that's what got me
Yeah.
looking into it. And I'm like, damn, that is really cheap. I mean, even if I put $100 in and then it dropped 50%, it's like, okay,
Right. Yeah.
oh
I mean, that's
well.
literally what happened. Like that's what I put 146 in, and then like at its lowest, it was at like $73.
Right,
And
right.
then, now it's been going crazy. And like or today, I think I saw my account was at like $425. And I'm just like, all right, that's cool. I'll just continue to hold
Yep.
because I'm not going to be stupid. Like there's this guy that, I forget where he's from, Costa Costa Rica or something like that. Um, he had like told everybody um, to buy Bitcoin way, when it first came, like when you first ever heard about it, when it first came out. And he's he's like, he's out there and he wears all these shirts saying, I told you so. And like, yeah, he's just living life. And like, I did a calculation, like back when it first came out, I mean, it was 6 cents a piece. I mean, you could have bought 100 for $6.
Imagine if you damn bought $1,000 worth at that point.
That's what I'm saying. Like it, like the potential is too much, man. Like when you have, when it's that little bit of money and you have
Right.
that much potential, you're like, this is kind of a no brainer. Like, yeah, you got to be smart and just stick it out. But like, because I know with Shiba, the moment it hits a penny, people are gonna fucking take profit. I'm not willing to do that because at that point, I'm only gonna have $100,000. I'll sell at that point. I might sell like a quarter of my position just to, if I got some debt or whatever, pay off some debt. But
Right.
like then I'll still have like 7.5 million. So when it reaches a dollar, I'm still good.
I mean, dude, it's like 0.0000.
Yeah, at what point do you take profits though? You know what I mean? I
Right.
mean, if
And
you
that
have like a whole number, but
Well,
then it comes into
i-
that. Well, no, it's gonna keep going. You know, like the whole thing,
right.
in my opinion, this is one of those
and then
things
it does
where
it.
you just get, $200 or $300 worth and then sit on it until 25 years goes by. And then at that
Right.
point, it's like, okay, what is it now? Don't even look at it for 20 years.
That's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, well, I'll just continue working. I mean, I'm already doing it anyway. I'll just
Right.
continue working. If I can get some money together and start trading, then that'd be nice. But I'm still trying to recover from when I blew up my account. That's why I don't, trade really anymore. I mean, I'm in there and I talk about, I know what's going on, but my thing is like every time I get into something, I might have like a couple winning days, and then I'll have like 5 days of trash, and so that's why I just kind of stopped and just took a step back and was like, all right, well, this may not be for me. I know it's good for a lot of other people, so I'm gonna stick around, but I'm gonna focus on my real estate.
You ever consider just doing shares?
Yes. So one of the things, and that's why I was really researching into the REITs and everything like that. I've considered trying to just get some money together and collect dividends and stuff. Um, Still trying to decide what exactly I'm trying to do in the market itself. I know I want to be diversified. I don't want everything. If I make a bunch of money off real estate, I don't want it to sit in real estate forever. I kind of want to the smartest people out there, at least financially, they make their money always work for them. They compound everything.
Right, right.
So
Well,
that's
like
kind of what I'm trying to do.
maybe split it up into real estate
Right,
and like crypto and equities, and then do a little bit
right,
of risky options, stuff like that. So
yeah,
the thing that I always teach people, especially new traders, and not to say that you're new, but I always try to get the people that don't know what they're doing to do shares and not hold it like for dividends. What I mean is like you buy
actually
something at a
trade it.
low, and yeah, and in 2 to 3 months you get out of it at a resistance point, right? So,
Right,
and there's always cycles. Like the market always cycles. So you'll
right,
get in, like as long as you get in at a low point, it's even if it goes down, it's still going to come back up and go past that at some point in the future. Typically, I've seen the average turnaround time is 2 to 3 months. So,
right,
in my opinion, if you're just a slow swing trader moving shares, you can expect to take profits 3 or 4 times a year. There are times when you get lucky and you get into something at a bottom and it jumps, it rips 20%. And yeah, then you want to get out and take your profits pretty quick. I mean, I've been in
right.
positions where I get in, and then 2 days later it's up 25%. I'm like, well, shit, I'm gonna take it now, you know.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
But there's been plays where I have to wait 3 or 4 months, and then finally now I'm up like 45%. So
Right.
that's
I mean,
that's the
granted,
best and
knowing
safest way to trade.
knowing obviously hindsight is 2020, right?
Hmm.
Always. But knowing what I know now, and like I had started with 4 grand and I blew up my account. And I've never really been able to recover that because part of the issue is like when you're trading with such a small account, and at least back then we didn't have the system that we have in this Discord now either at that time. So trading with a small account, you're like, damn, I got to get back to where I was. I got to get back to where I was. And that's constantly going through your head. So at least for me, I was being a little more risky. And so I would just, I would make a couple good days and then I'd have like 5 bad days. And so like it just kept going down and down because of that. Um, but I can say that like one of my plans is to, you know, build this real estate, pay off my debt, and then at that point, I'm like, all right, cool. I have 5 grand here. Let's play the market and do it the way that we're doing it in this Discord because I mean this thing is the stuff that I've been following Assassin for I don't know a year and a half now, and the stuff that I've watched him grow in that time, and it's just like, bro, he is really onto something. And he's absolutely right with like the 5 to 10% at a time. Like,
Oh
don't
yeah.
worry about the rest. Just get the 5 to 10% and then keep moving forward. And you don't YOLO your account. You put a little bit on and then you keep working. And then like a year later, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, damn, I made $100,000 this year.
Yeah, it's about being methodical like a machine. You got
Right.
to
Exactly.
have a specific way that you do something and you stick to it. You never deviate.
Yeah.
And that's why I always recommend the whole share idea of, flipping three or
Right.
four times a year, because it's really, really easy to stick to that, right? And
Yes.
like I alerted T and BYND, and they're at lows, and both of them have dropped lower than the price that I entered at. And somebody DM'd me and was like, "Hey man, what are you gonna do? The price dropped. I got in, I'm down this much." And I'm like, "Look, I explained explicitly it takes 2 to 3 months for you to see profits on this. So if you
Yeah.
can't handle the volatility, you shouldn't be trading, period. If you can't handle
Exactly.
shares, you shouldn't even be looking at options. So
Yeah.
but
I mean, dude, some people were petrified of seeing red. I mean, I was in the beginning too. I was like, oh shit, I'm down. And then, the one I listened to a podcast and actually it was really good advice. It was, do you watch the value of your house change every day? Right? Do
Nope.
you check Zillow every single day to see what it is, right? So if you're doing like long-term investing or swing trading for longer term, stop checking your fucking P&L every single day and see if you're up or
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
and just let it do its thing, especially if you're in share, if time is not against you, which
Yeah,
is
and that's the
where
other thing that's nice with the shares is like, okay, it went down, but
Yeah, it's like, oh
you have
well,
shares.
so what?
You have shares. Like
yeah.
you can hold that shit for forever if you want to.
Well, there's a disclosure there. If you're buying, fucking SPACs and YOLOing on
Yeah.
fucking penny stocks, so
Right.
there's got to be that. But like
It,
lately, I've been flipping spy trades. I literally
hmm
buy it and I just set a limit sell order and I just walk away. And then, a couple of days later, I get a notification on my phone that I get made $2 a share.
There you go.
And
You know what I mean?
that's free commission.
Yep.
There's no commission on that.
Nope.
That's the beauty is like you can do that and constantly you can get it when it drops a certain percentage. And I was charting SPY for someone the other day with Fibonacci retracement, and you can easily see each level that it bounces off of. So you can run a Fibonacci on a current uptrend, and the moment it starts to teeter and break the other direction, you can look at certain price levels and set limit entry orders. And then the moment
hmm
it jumps into that, you do like a Fibonacci extension, and then you can see at what levels you would expect to for the profit to be where you would have an expectation of where the price is going to go, and then you can set your limit exit order and just walk away.
Right.
It's so beautiful. Like, and I was thinking about doing that, Peter. I was thinking about um, doing that whole SPY thing, like what you're talking about. Um, I'm just kind of stuck in a couple of positions right now where I want to maintain a certain amount of capital because I'm waiting for space to shit on itself a little bit more and jump in the $17 area, and then I'm gonna get in that because that one's gonna be a 100% gain pretty easy. Like there's a gap
Yeah.
to fill at 32, so
Yep.
like 100% gain almost just off of that. But the beauty is like I do all of my trading in retirement accounts, and when in 20 years from now, when I've been just slowly and consistently turning profits and compounding my money, I would have made at least a few $1,000,000, and the
Oh
government
yeah.
can't touch it. They cannot touch it. And that's the beauty. Like, when I turn 60, honestly, I hope to be retired by 55. But when I turn 60, the government can't touch a single dime that I've made in the market. And I can continue making that money in those accounts, and they will never ever be able to touch me. I can write off on my taxes that I make no money every single year, and they're going to be paying me money.
hmm
So that's the thing is like, I always and you can trade obviously shares in whatever account you want, but if people have the resolve to wait long enough to have the patience and to not want stupid shit today and wait for the future and do the right thing until then, they'll be rich before they know it.
That's the tough part. Like I'm having my wife's not asleep yet, so I don't want her to hear me.
No.
So this quietly, but like, she's like, I want this, I want that. And I'm like, what the fuck do you need that for? And then she's like, well, what if I don't make it to enjoy it? And I'm like,
Turn it so that it's turned in.
that's not a valid argument.
But
Well, that's the thing
let
is
him
like,
know.
you
I
know,
can't get on the computer, so I can't give him a report on it.
I can't tell if,
Okay.
oh, I think he's
No, he's talking
on
to
the phone.
somebody else.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, I finally got my wife to realize, all the stuff that she wants, you know, so what if we don't get to enjoy it? The part about and the enjoyment for me is knowing that my daughter's going to be taken care of. That's the enjoyment that I get, and she's starting to finally fall on or get on the same train with me in terms of that. So now
Hmm.
it's like she's not really looking for nice LV or Burberry purses or doing all this and that. I mean, like so when she goes to work, she comes home, she brings me like she gives me all her money, and then like so she gets paid a portion in cash, portion in check, and out of the cash, I'll give her about 30-40% of the cash, and the rest of it I put in the bank, and I'll either pay off debt with it or I'll put it into crypto or I'll put it into my trade account, and I'll just try and build that money, and it's like in the future, if her and I die at 65, so what? I don't care. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't bother me one bit because at that point, as long as I've got $5 to $10 million and I can give it to a financial person and say, hey, look, make 10% a year for my daughter. That's all I care about, you
Yeah.
know? So and at that point, 10% of 3 million is $300,000. So that's more than enough for her to survive. You know, I mean, I just need 100,000 to be honest with you, a year.
Yeah, so I actually have three brokerage accounts. Then I have the 401k, and then I have the IRA. So the 401k, I can't touch that. We went through that shit. The IRA, I'm gonna start doing some backdoor Roth conversions on that if I can. But the other brokerage accounts, like one of them, I just trade in it so that way I have money to pay for my kids' college tuition because I don't want to open up a 529 because you're just bound to mutual funds.
Right.
Then the other account that I have is literally like whatever money I make in that account, I take money out of there, put it into my IRA for the 6K, and then whatever else is left over from there, like we'll go on a vacation with that money.
Right.
It's free money. I didn't really, other than just some time, that money made like you were saying before, that money was made from money.
Yeah, I mean that's the best way to live is to make money with money, not your time or effort or sweat. Who the hell wants to
Yeah.
work till you're 60 damn years old sweating? Like my mom
Yeah.
worked till she was 70 years old and she can't even like I mean, she's got money. She's cheap though. But she's got money and she just won't go and do certain things, right? Like so she gets a pension and she gets social security, so she's like she makes basically what I make every month and she doesn't do shit. And she doesn't even touch the money that she put away. And it's like, she lives with this mentality that she's not going to be able to survive if she touches that nest egg.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to live like that. I want to be able to do anything and everything I want, buy whatever I want, eat what I want, go where I want, anything, and it not affect my nest egg. Right?
Yeah.
Like I said, making three, four, $500,000 a year that's more than plenty to do anything I want. I can fly private jets 3 or 4 times a year if I want. Not a big deal, and all of my properties paid for. You know, like I know Weezy and I have talked about, and I guess Peter, you've heard me say this before, but like the whole being self-sufficient, grow your own food, have your own
Mhm.
water, create your own electricity, all that stuff. Like if you can do all of that and you got no bills and no service that you need to require from somebody else, like what do you really need money for at that point other than to enjoy yourself?
Right.
Still gotta pay the property tax. That's what you need it for.
Yeah, I guess.
But I mean, like, well, and that was so one of the things I've been, and of course, I need to get the money up there to be able to do this. But one of my other goals is to start buying apartment complexes. But in order to do that, I was going to uh, buy whole term life insurance policies. So when you do that, you buy it. Let's say you buy it for $100,000. It makes interest. It makes like 6% interest, right? But you can pull it back out like 2 days later, and it'll still make 6% interest on that $100,000. And you'll just, you obviously you got to pay back into your life insurance policy back to get it to back to 100 grand, but you're making 6% interest on $100,000, and you're taking that same $100,000 and putting it in somewhere else, and you're just like compounding. And you're making money in two separate areas on the same exact amount of money.
So with it's a great segue into what you're saying. Another beauty of Solana is you can stake it and you can make around 7 to 8% a year off of those coins. And it's not like so the part I haven't figured out yet is how come they say 8% when it pays out every 3 or 4 days? That is like the best compounding type of shit I've ever heard in my life. When it pays you out every 3 or 4 days, regardless of what it pays, after a certain amount of time, it continues to compound. Like I feel like it should be more than 8%. But let's just assume every year you make 8% off of your money. I mean,
Hmm.
and so coupled with the assumption that the bullish mentality of it's going to go to $1,000 at some point in the future, or 2,000 or
Right.
whatever. So as the price goes up, when the payout happens, it's whatever the price is at that moment. So if I buy it and I've got 20 or 100 coins at $200 per coin, it's going to pay me 8% of that. But then when the price goes up to $2,000 a coin, it's going to pay me 8% of that number, right? So like
Right.
it compounds in multiple different ways, and not only those, but like I said, it compounds, like it pays out every 3 or 4 days. So like let's say you got one coin, and then in 4 days it pays out, and it gives you like 0.0001. Well, it's still gonna, next time it stakes, it's gonna stake off of 1.0001,
Right.
right? So that's like a beautiful compounding effect. And like some people have talked about, why don't you pay your mortgage biweekly so that you basically can, attack the compounding interest faster, right? So even if you're still paying the same payment and not paying extra on the house, you're paying it off faster, so in more frequency, so that every time you take a chunk off of it, that compound interest that hits you, it's less than the next time, right? So it's the same concept here, but backwards. Every time it pays out, it's going to give you X amount of the coin, and then when it turns around to stake again, and it automatically does, you don't have to do anything. It's automatic staking. Once you turn it on in the wallet, it stakes automatically every time it pays out. So it's going to compound that number every single time. And if you're
Right.
compounding every 3 or 4 days, man, that's like, it's not a lot of money if you don't have a lot in it. But if you've got $100,000 worth in 10 years, you're looking at a lot of money, especially if the
Yeah.
shit jumps $1,000 a damn coin.
Right.
I think they do that because the price is so volatile, because they can't give you, like, they can't,
You muted yourself.
yeah, they would have to price average your holdings, right? So I think
Right.
that's why they're doing a daily compound, which is better for you because you're, oh, if it's going up, if it's going down, then it's not, obviously, right? And I think that's why they do it that way.
Yeah, and I'm totally fine with that. I mean, I understand the whole volatility behind it. But I mean, if I'm getting paid money every 3 or 4 days, regardless of how much it is, like I think it's probably like 50 cents every 3 or 4 days, at the current level. I mean, if you think about that, yeah, it's small right now, but when the price of it goes up, and like let's say you continue to add to your position over the next 10 years, or let's say um, the next, so with what I was trying to do was I wanted to get 100 coins within a year, and that's it's a decent amount of money. I think it's like 50 or $60,000, but I wanted to get about 100 coins before it really starts jumping. And then by the time it starts jumping, the staking is going to be much more beautiful to me. Like, I mean,
So explain to me staking, because I saw that before. I saw this. I saw that on. So when I was on crypto, because I bought my Shiba token through Crypto.com, their app, and they have this card, right? It's like a fucking debit card, and or a credit card or something like that. And they're like they give you all these benefits, and they have different levels of card, and like the top card is like this black card, and you have to stake like $400,000 in their crypto CRO, and then you get like 8% cash back. You get like free Spotify subscription, free Netflix subscription, like all this other these benefits. But it never explained exactly what staking is. Is like, are you buying it and then like it's just gonna sit there like that, or like how does that?
so you have to buy the coin, and then you have to put it into a wallet that you can allow it to stake in. And so basically, there's a validator and a staker. And I'm not exactly sure how this works. I'm going to try and explain it how it was explained to me, but I'm still not quite grasping the concept, but I understand the basics, right? So a validator basically takes the coin and they validate it. And when they validate it, the process is called staking, right? So when you stake, you're lending your coin to someone else, that which is the validator, and they basically make it for lack of a better term, a valid coin in the blockchain, right?
Right,
So
because because the way that all the cryptos, from my understanding, the way that all the cryptos are working is they're basically just doing fucking math problems and
right.
you know counting shit. So
Yeah, so I mean that's basically how it works, right? So you like I'll buy it on Coinbase and then I'll send it to my wallet. And then in my wallet I can do stake and I'll pick a validator. And there's a bunch of validators you can choose from and they all range anywhere from 4 to 8% in returns. And then once you pick the validator and you tell it to stake the coins, it lends the coins to them, they validate them, and then the process of the validation creates money. So then they send back the 8%, and then out of that 8%, they charge a commission, like 5 to 15% of your 8%. So let's say, for ease of numbers, your 8% was $100. They're going to make $10 or $15 off of you, right?
right,
So, and then for the process of the validation, they make money too. So they make money during the validation, and then um, the commission from your staking, they take a piece of. That's what their commission is. They take that small little percentage off of you
gotcha,
from your profit.
gotcha.
So you're pretty much just giving them cash, and then they're just like central holding it and validating the transactions and using it as a stake.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, very easy. Yeah, that's a very pretty simple way of
I
explaining
mean,
it.
it's
Yeah.
a pretty simple concept. I mean, because in this brokerage that I'm a part of, I mean, they have a very, you know, this is probably not even gonna come close to it, but uh what we do, one of the things that they offer is it's a multi-level marketing brokerage. So you can bring in as many agents as you want to that are your downline, and then as you invest into your downline, you uh, you give them the support, you try to build them up, you give them clients and stuff like that, and it pays you back with it's like 3.5% of their commission, although it's not coming from them, it's coming from the brokerage. But it's like you can get if you get like 5,000 agents total in your downline, you're gonna make like $4 million a year just
And it's
from
just
them doing work. Not even you're not even doing a transaction. It's just them.
Right.
it's a typical pyramid setup.
Yeah, and I mean, I was everybody's kind of skeptical. You know, anytime there's a pyramid, you kind of got to be a little bit careful and really read into it and everything. But um, I mean, me personally, I freaking love it. Like one of the guys that's above me, he's been doing it for 2 years now with this YouTube, and he he's retired. He hasn't done a single transaction in like a year, and
Yeah, I
just
mean it's
kind of
it's all about creating a certain amount of money. So
right,
whatever way you can create that envelope of money, and then you can lend it out per se,
right,
and get that money. I mean, it's kind of like how banks, they lend money and they charge their interest rate on it. It's the same
yeah.
concept. Yeah. So it's like,
And that's that kind of leads me. So remember I was talking about before with the whole term life insurance policies. I found out that that's literally what banks do. They go and they buy these whole term life insurance policies with our money, and then then they'll go and lend it out to somebody as well.
yeah. And then, so
Yeah,
they're basically getting percent on top of percent. They're compounding all their
Right.
percentages. And they've got 3 or 4 people paying them money and they just have to service one debt.
Yeah.
it's literally a game of chance, right? Because the likelihood of everybody at the same time needing to get paid out is very unlikely.
Right, right.
Exactly.
It's actually
Yeah.
really smart, whoever invented
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
these
I
banks
mean,
made all
they
that
buy
money.
like, and of course, they're big banks. So they buy like, what is it like? mm, I think one of them was bought like $20 billion worth of whole term life insurance policies.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you pay into it. They do, they invest that money or a lot of it. Um, I don't know. Did you see the latest earnings for Goldman Sachs? They made $3 billion trading equities.
I mean,
That's
when
fucking
when
nuts.
you've got billions to put in the market,
Right.
I
And
mean,
you've
shit.
got a ton of people working for you that only follow the market all day too.
Right.
It's all automated though. I mean, a lot of it's just all algorithms, and they have, like statisticians working for them
Right.
doing all this, and it's nuts. I mean, that is definitely the future of training,
Oh yeah.
where you just set up, algorithms, logic, and then you just let it go,
I mean,
and
they
then
have that out there now. It's still
yeah,
infant,
correct.
but
Yeah, Option Alpha hasn't.
oh, do they? Do they now? Finally,
Yeah,
huh?
he has the bot finally. So they had a test period, but they did roll it out. But yeah, I mean, what's nice about it is it's zero emotion, right? Because you
Right.
take the emotion out of it, which is where most people get burnt when they trade.
So,
Right.
have you tried to mess with it? Like, have you
No, I'm not.
played with it?
No, I'm not a member, and I just do all the free stuff that they have. But I listen to the podcast, like when he talks about it,
Shit, I'm
and
gonna
I
have to
read
check
up
it
on
out
it.
because I'm a lifetime member. So
You might have access to it
I know I do.
because they just redid the thing. But yeah, you literally, if you watch their video online, they actually had like seminars when they were doing intro classes to it before they fully rolled it out because they had the beta version.
Mhm.
And you literally just drag and drop commands and create logic diagrams, and you tell it exactly what you want it to do.
Hmm. I'm gonna have to try that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is so. All right. Yeah. I guess I'll check it out because I mean, like I've always wanted a day trade, but I can't handle the emotion. I
hmm
can't do it, man. It's too much emotion for me. Like the my heart races and I'm on the edge of my seat. And I'm like, I can't
Mhm.
live that way, man. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have a fucking heart attack. So, but maybe I'll give it a shot with the bot trading.
It
I
could
know
be simple
there's
swing trading too. You know what I mean?
right, right. I know there's a Stockpilot that does it too, but I don't know how it works because I've tried to look into it, and you gotta like sign up, and you gotta have. It's kind of confusing, but there's quite a few services out there that definitely do it. I forgot about that with Option Alpha. I remember seeing emails about it, but then I unsubscribed to it because it's just always like spam. So I unsubscribed to it and totally forgot that they were rolling out with that. So I might check that out actually, and give it a test run and see. Maybe I'll get a. See, the thing is, it's like, how do you get it to um, follow somebody that's day trading? Like, I get that there's levels and all that, but it's like, I don't know. I have to go check out the program, honestly.
Well, like so, there's a wait list you got to get on. He has like over 100,000 people on this thing, or even more using the bot. Um, but what they did was, so they're primarily sellers, right? They mainly
Right,
sell to open. So they're using, you know, you don't when you sell to open, you're really not day trading stuff.
right. Yeah, that's actually where
Um,
I started. Um, that's where I started to learn how to sell to open. That's where I started.
mhm.
That's why I bought the lifetime because I thought the information was really good as far as how he taught sell to open. But when I got the whole lifetime membership, there wasn't really too much beyond what was free. Like there is like you get like these back testing PDFs that you got to sign NDAs to get,
Hmm.
and but it's like thousands and thousands and thousands of trades worth of back testing. And to be
Yeah.
honest, like using that information, it really didn't do much for me. Maybe it did for some other folks, but I didn't get too much out of it.
So some of the I mean, I listen pretty much to all their podcasts, and a lot of the back testing data, it's more like statistics where like when you should take profits, when you shouldn't,
Right, right,
how to enter the positions, how to move your capital forward. So it's useful. And so the program that they have, it does have a back tester in there where you could actually set up your own scenarios. Like if you want to run your portfolio through a black swan event, you can do that too. Like put in your positions in there, because they try to stay neutral versus being you're fully bullish or fully bearish. So they try
right.
to maintain, a beta zero as much as they can, which is, a lot of the stuff is interesting.
I'm sitting here trying to damn log in, but it won't.
They
Can't
have
even
a new webpage now.
see that. There's like no login. What the fuck? I have to send
Yeah,
them
you
an
might have
email.
to email 'em.
Because I'm a lifetime member, and I remember seeing it say, you have access. It's your lifetime. You get everything, while everybody else has to wait. Yeah, okay. I'll figure it out.
He actually hired a shitload of people too.
I mean, dude's making money. Like I watched him trade,
Yeah.
and I mean he's making money, so he knows what he's doing. It's just
Hmm.
the type of stuff that he does. Again, it's not for everybody. So
No.
you've got to really be into his types of strategies to take advantage of it.
Yeah, he does a lot of strangle straddles, iron
Right,
condors, like undefined risk strategies for very large portfolio.
right, right.
But even the stuff that they do when they do post the trades, like if you're a member, I'm not, so I found them after all that. But they tell you how to turn every single strategy that's undefined risk into a defined risk strategy, so you can trade it in an IRA because you can't have level 3 and 4 trading in certain IRA
Right,
accounts.
right. See if I can send him an email because
Yeah, all the way at the bottom, there's a thing that's contact us.
I'll send it later. You got me interested now. It looks like it's all on their website though, like GUI
Yeah,
based.
yeah, I think it's you don't so you can take it everywhere. You don't have to have a laptop. I don't think they developed an app, so it's all browser based.
Right, right, okay. Yeah, it was when I first joined, it was definitely they were talking about it, but it hadn't really gone anywhere. And what I thought they were gonna do, or what I thought it was gonna be like was he trades and then you just sign up and throw money at a bot that he programs, and then whatever he trades, the bot's gonna do, and you could just coattail off of him.
No, nothing like that.
Yeah, yeah, I figured that out later on because I was
Yeah,
still really new at the time.
yeah, they're definitely more into that whole educating people thing and letting them kind of do their own things. They do give them trades too. You can sign up for that.
Right. Yeah, I've seen all that. I mean, like I said, I mean, when I mean, I assume that I still have access because I'm a lifetime member, but when I was in there, I mean, I could see everything. So there wasn't any stone unturned when I was there. It's just I got to sort of doing my own thing, right? I mean, because you know, I, I I was doing iron condors and credit spreads when I first started doing sell to open when I learned from them, and I
Hmm.
was pretty successful for about 3 months, and then the fourth or fifth month, I got crushed hard, and I kind of felt like it's something wasn't right. So I stopped doing that kind of trading. And that's when I learned how to swing trade shares. And I felt like swing trading shares was much safer. So I stopped doing those types of trades and I stopped going to his website and all that stuff, even though I had spent, I think it was like $2,000 for the lifetime.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I had spent that money and stuff, and then I just kind of like, whatever, I learned stuff, and I guess it was worth 2 grand to learn what I learned. But,
You paid that back by now.
right. But at the same time, it's like, I felt like I found a better way of trading for me. So that's
But
really what it's about is to find what's best for you. What fits your schedule and your risk tolerance and emotion and all that jive. So, and his type of trading just, it, it's, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It is risky, but it's not super risky. Not like day trading. But
well, he's more of a volume trader, by where you throw in 100 trades, and out of 100, you're gonna hit 70 to 80% of those, and
right, right,
those had an 80% chance of success. So you're literally hitting your statistics because most of his iron condors and whatnot are like 15 deltas. He very rarely sells anything that's 30 or whatever. They do some technical analysis, like based on the videos and the stuff that I've read.
not too
Um,
much. But yeah, he
yeah,
does.
but most of the stuff is 30, 45 days out, and even all his iron condors and strangles or whatever are 15 deltas, which, I mean, some of the stuff you can't even get into it because the threads are shit.
Right.
There is no open interest on like the long leg to cover that short. Um, but
I mean, but that's why he trades highly volatile stuff. Like you said, he's a volume trader, so he needs things that are going to have a ton of open interest. And
he mainly does ETFs.
right, yeah, 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 IDMBM, QQQ, SPY, all that stuff.
He does a lot of Excel at all the
Right, yeah, I saw that
sectors,
too.
all that stuff. But even he said that, like, he used to only trade stuff that had significantly high IV, but now they started doing some debit spreads, uh, just because if when IV is zero, premium is garbage, and you can't make money when the VIX is down at like you know 14, 15.
Right.
Um, so and then the market's not always volatile.
Yeah, it's a cycle. It kind of comes and goes. Money flows in and out of different industries, and that's why IV is so important to understand because
Yep.
like I was trying to help somebody earlier, and he was talking about selling. So he's got a $7.15 position break even, and he's selling $6 calls on that position, but it's paying out like what, a dollar 90.
Wow.
So if it finishes in the money, he's making money.
Still good. Yeah.
Yeah, take his shares, and it's like, but I was like, what's the IV on that? He's like 230. I'm like, well, shit, no wonder. As soon as the IV drops, you're gonna be fucking screwed. So you better get out of those shares ASAP.
Yeah, but 230 doesn't even mean shit either. You got to see, what historically percentage wise that is.
Yeah, but I mean, based off of what I've seen in the past,
Yeah, it's
230 is
probably a
pretty
meme
high.
stock. Yeah. Yeah, I actually meant to look at Snap because I know that IV must have skyrocketed on earnings.
And the thing I've noticed with IV is like when it's really high, there's a good chance the stock's gonna drop. I think the
Yes.
probability is in the favor of it dropping based off of things I've seen in the past. I mean, not
So I got
always.
I got into a position. Let me see if I can find the history. Order history. I don't know. I found some stock where the IV was 100% uh, percentile, and the price of the stock was at like $17. I sold a $3 put for $40, like
Jeez. Yeah.
2 weeks out, and it was just easy money. You know what I mean? Just because the IV is so high, and I knew it wasn't going to drop that low just looking at the chart. So, I sold a cash secured put, and I was like, all right, whatever. The return was like 10% almost,
I
but
like
the
10%.
40 bucks. Yeah, I'm not getting that in my IRA. I don't, it's just, nah, it's okay.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I can get 45 to 60% relatively easily in my retirement accounts with doing shares 3 or 4 times a year because the like I like things that go against me initially. That means I average down, which means my position size grows. And then
Yes, I
when
got
it rebounds,
into,
it's like my money is even larger and my returns are going to be bigger. So
yeah,
I don't like stuff where because I start out with 1,000 to 1,500 per position. I'll start with
mhm,
that, and then if it goes in my favor, I might make 150. But if it goes against me and I'm averaging down for a month, let's say I've got 4 grand in it or something, or 5 grand, and the moment it jumps to the first resistance point, I'm up 45%. I set a trailing stop, and it'll probably go to 65 to 70 sometimes on that one position. So I'll make 3 or 4 grand off of 5 grand, or 2,500 off of 4,000. It's
mhm.
like shit. It's so easy to do that because the position went against me initially, and I wasn't afraid and got all scared and started selling. I bought more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't sell. I just keep holding it. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
made a mistake. I made a stupid. I bought PayPal on that first dip when they announced that they were going to buy Pinterest, but I didn't follow that rule of three. And then the next day, so I bought it. I immediately saw the covered call on it just because I wanted the shares to get called away. And then the next day it tanked even more. So I kept all that premium, and then I sold another covered call on it. But just because I'm selling it for my 260 strike and it's at fucking 240, I had to go like a month out, which I'm fine. Even if it gets called away, I still made $600-700 on it.
right.
But I did think about averaging down on the shares.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, if you're getting into stuff that's at support levels, averaging down's really not an issue. Because it's like at some point in the future, if you're willing to sit there and wait long enough, have the patience, then it's gonna come back without
Yep.
a doubt.
I mean, just the same thing with the 401. You know what I mean? Like it just sits there and it goes up and down, and eventually it just goes higher.
Yeah, over time, yeah, it's just 401ks are just such the worst trash you could possibly put money into, though. That's just my
Yeah,
opinion, though.
no, I know. I said it's better than not doing it.
True. That's why I like crypto now, though, because it's like I max out my Roth. I'm not doing 401ks.
You could
So,
trade crypto in some Roths. Some of them let you do it.
yeah, Schwab won't. So, you can do like leveraged stuff that is related to crypto, but you can't actually own crypto. So,
Let me see if I can do it on Fidelity.
I was just like, all right, whatever. I mean, I'll just keep, that's not a big deal for me, but it sure would be hella nice if I could buy some crypto and let it sit there in my Roth account. Because,
Let's see.
if it jumps up like Wheezy was saying, it goes from, 0.00003 to $1. I'm rich and they can't touch it. Maybe at some point in the future they'll do something like that.
Yeah, Fidelity does not support crypto.
Yeah, I'm gonna message Schwab and ask them if they have any plans on allowing crypto into some of these retirement accounts, or just on their platform, because
You could. What's that ETF that just opened? Bito?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Bito. BITO. The futures Bitcoin ETF.
They're gonna try to manipulate it with that. But I don't think they're gonna be successful.
It opened up and went up to $44. It's back down to 30.
Yeah, and I don't think it doesn't relate to the price of Bitcoin.
No, it's a futures. It's a Bitcoin futures based ETF, which is really weird. That's why they allowed it. Because that's the only reason I cleared through SEC, that it was futures based because it's based off of contracts instead of the actual currency itself.
Right. Was that your kid in the background?
No, it's my dog's licking out bowls. My wife made chili and she just lets him lick out the freaking crockpot bowl.
I see.
My kid's sleeping.
I was gonna say, man, last week. So like my daughter likes to get these aluminum. I guess they're aluminum bowls, or like they're big, like that you can wash vegetables in them and stuff. And she likes to beat on them with wooden spoons and stuff. And in my neighborhood, there's this house that periodically has some kind of outdoor thing. And it's like our neighborhood is not made for that.
Hey, where you
Hmm.
where you
And
going? Oh,
and they it sounded like my daughter playing pots and pans for an hour. I'm like, what the hell, man? I drive by there. I mean, it was I felt like it was an Antifa party. You know how like you're seeing them videos of Antifa protesting and they're just beating on stuff and making noise.
Hmm.
It was like
Yeah.
that, and I'm like, is this like an Antifa gathering or something? I mean, I'm confused here, like, because this isn't music, guys. It's pretty funny. Initially, it was irritating, but I walked over there just to see, and it became amusing. I mean, you can't be upset at something that's amusing at that point. So I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah, my neighbors are quiet. The
Yep.
neighbors to the one side of me, they barely even go out in the backyard. The other couple, they used to have a dog, but they put him down. And then there's a couple next to me on the right. There's got two puppies too. Because this one over here now, she's digging up. I have like a fire pit area